this hearing. And note that this is also an agenda item for us to pass tonight. Thank you. So now I'd like to open the regular Common Council meeting of Tuesday, December 13th, 2022, our regular session. To lead us tonight, we've got the Pledge of Allegiance first with Councilman Donahue leading the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So tonight I'd like to introduce a special guest, Adele Squadair, a sixth grader from Abraham Wing Elementary School, and thank Kate Roos for helping us pull this together, and Adele to have her sing the national anthem for us. Thank you. Welcome, Adele. Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was great. Never before, Adele, we heard anybody sound that good on this PA system. Never before. That is fantastic. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Really appreciate it. Oh, that's awesome. If that doesn't get more people at our Common Council meeting, nothing will.
I think we should do that.
I think we should. We've got Kate trying to recruit people, so that is awesome. Thank you.
And she'll get them to come too.
That's right. That's true. So now we open our Common Council meeting to public comments. Is there anybody from the community who'd like to make a public comment tonight?
Come back to follow.
Hip hip hooray.
Hip, hip,
Hip,
hooray.
Very good. Committee reports. Councilman Clark, please.
I have no committee reports, but my Economic and Community Development Committee I'll be shooting an email out to everybody, try to find a date that will work for everyone. So it's a little tough right now with the holidays and stuff, but we'll get something in there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Councilman Donahue, committee reports.
Sustainability, nothing to report at this time. Last time I was talking about the difficulty in finding sites for solar panels. We're still going to go look at other options, but the next meeting will be the third Tuesday, which is the 20th, at 3 o'clock. So if anyone wants to show up, let them know.
Thank you, sir.
I may be the only one there, but
Committee report, Councilman Landry.
No report.
Committee report, Councilwoman Palmer.
The Recreation Committee met on Monday. We were continuing to work on getting our ideas together to put in a bid for the improvements to our parks. Our next step is we're going to kind of separate the the work that has to do with courts across the park so that we can lump them together and hopefully save money. So Jeremy Schneibel, our city engineer, is going to do some kind of concept drawings after receiving input from the council and the group. And then if we all agree, he'll then price them out and we'll know based on that how much we have left for some of our more creative ideas in the other parks. And at that point, we'll probably also know if we've received the funds from the county, because I think they vote on the 16th. So we'll be in good shape to make decisions at that point. Building and codes will be meeting on the 19th at 1 p.m. and we're going to be continuing to look at our fees and also start talking about plans to roll out our operating permit and inspections for next year.
Thank you. Committee reports, Councilman Lapp.
The Technology Committee met on Wednesday, December 7th at 11 a.m. We discussed the WISP update with Orbital Fire. We got copies of that. I had a bunch of notes, and I saw that I got a response on a bunch of the notes. One of the notes with it is that Orbital Fire can do our risk assessment that the controller's office, not controller's office, that our audit office wanted us to do. So I'm going to see, I'm going to see if that's covered with our regular subscription with them, or what the cost might be, and I'll get back to you about that.
Then is it just on the IT side, or is that?
I think it's overall risk assessment. So it's not just IT; it's also like paper and those. And I think that's exactly the risk assessment that that our auditors were looking for.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I actually got an example too of what the auditors were looking for from Karen, who reached out to them, and I can forward that to you too. So
Okay, yeah, that's
take a
great.
look at that.
Yeah, I think I can forward it along to you, the comments from the risk assessment too.
Awesome.
Okay, so we're gonna get policy back, and then the next meeting's January 4th, and we'll be hopefully approving the WISP and then bringing it as a resolution for the council. We discussed cameras, and we had a presentation by Digital Watchdog Spectrum. They have some advantages over some other cameras that we looked at, so we're looking to get an estimate, and we'll take a look at that. We're getting a proposal from StoreTech. For internet consolidation, we're just standing at the same thing but we did hear CHIP's looking for soliciting proposals. StoreTech's also saying they can bring a proposal as well. Cable franchise agreement. I was all excited because I was thinking this could be more than just cable, but researching this, no, this can't be more than just cable. That's all federal. So like internet, broadband access. So it's a very narrow slice of what we can do with this in terms of getting more revenues. But I'm going forward with that, and I'll have that for the committee when that comes back. We're getting just a draft from Spectrum. So then we talked about the C-Click Fix training. I think Chip was saying next week, or even maybe this week, they were going to start doing some training on that. And next, in January, BN Communications is going to present us an alternate internet service provider for the community, and we'll take a look at that then. Later that evening, the Climate Smart Community Task Force, we got an update on Antares inventory and plan, and we got a transition of the reporting details from Jeff to Sue, but Sue told me that it's for like 2 years ago, so I have to get back to Jeff with that. We talked about Earth Day planning. I met with Tony DeFazio, who's Sustainable PR, and he's saying that Sustainable PR is interested in working with the city on this again. He's looking to add person real soon. Once they get up to speed, that's going to be one of their first projects. So I'll get them together with Amy Collins and probably Kate, because she
expressed an interest in planning for Earth Day and get going with that. We're also talking about needing a new resolution for the Climate Smart Communities Task Force because our old one has a lot of members who are no longer active with the task force. So we'll get that together and bring that to the council. We talked about the heat pump and the implications for that for the energy, the clean energy program, where there's another grant level that we can hit once we get the heat pump in place. There's also another, if we get another thing in that, I can't remember which one it was, we might be able to apply one of the clean energy community grants to the heat pump.
Really?
Yeah, so that could be helpful there. And we talked about traffic control. I don't know exactly what that is, but I know I added traffic calming things to the clean streets, complete streets today, the complete streets policy. I've got myself very confused now. Oh, and today is EV 101 at the library, starting at 6:30, that I just now realized, so I did not make it over to there. And that's all I have, unless you want some more.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gooden, committee reports.
The Special Projects Committee will be meeting tomorrow with the Board of Public Safety. We're going to just give their input about the overnight parking that we're still working on. And I'm happy we can say we finally got the taxi back. So,
Not yet.
almost.
We didn't vote
Okay, almost there. And our next special projects meeting will be on the 20th at 2 o'clock.
Great. Thank you. So, hearing no more committee reports, we're moving to voice vote. Under voice vote, number 1 is a resolution approving the minutes of the November 22nd, 2022 meeting of the Glens Falls County Council. Number 2 is a resolution to approve the city clerk's office and monthly PVB report. Do we have a motion to approve the voice vote?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Abstain? Nays? Thank you. Under roll call vote, are there any items that the council would like to pull for discussion? Hearing none. Resolution 3 is a resolution to approve the third installment of the health insurance stipend for the 2022 City of Glens Falls Union and non-union employees who elect not to enroll in the City of Glens Falls Health Insurance Program as defined in the CSEA, PBA, and IAFF contracts. 4 is a resolution to authorize the controller to collect unpaid 2022 water and sewer bills in the amount of $800,389.19 listed on the schedule by adding them to the city's tax roll and collecting them at the same time in the same manner as the real property taxes. 5 is a resolution to adopt the proposed local law 6-2022 to revise the city code chapter 109 building and code administration. 6 is a resolution to adopt the proposed local law 7-2022 to amend city code chapter 198 taxi cabs and chapter 208 vehicle and traffic law. 7 is a resolution to increase the revenue code A00999-1589 other public safety income by $9,240 and increase the budget expense code A23120-1000 Police Department Personal Services by $9,240. 8 is a resolution to increase the general fund revenue. Resolution to increase the general fund revenue line A00999-2626 crime proceeds restricted by $162.36 and increase the general fund expense line A23126-4479 seized assets State GFPD by $162.36. 9 is a resolution to increase the general fund revenue line A 00999-3501 CHIPS by $162,388 and to increase general fund expense account A 45114-4479 CHIPS other contracted services by $162,388. This being monies for the final payment of the paving and sidewalk work done throughout the city in 2022. 10 is a resolution to increase the general fund revenue line A 009999-4089 government aid ARPA by $1,371.17, an increase to budget line A 11355-2030 computer equipment by $1,371.17 to purchase a needed replacement laptop computer for the assessor's office due to a failing system. 11, a resolution to approve the City of Glens Falls Community Development annual payments in the amount of $62,607.58. 12 is a resolution to approve a minor budget amendment in the 2019-2020 program years under the City of Glens Falls Entitlement Community Development Block Grant CBG program. 13 is a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Labella Associates, one of the two respondents, for design and engineering services for Glens Falls local waterfront revitalization DOS grant C 1001149 in a form approved by the city attorney. 14 is a resolution to approve the Community Development Rehabilitation rehabilitation application 2021-91-003 in the amount not to exceed $30,000. 15 is a resolution to authorize the controller to increase the general fund expense line A 56989-4479 economic development other contracted services by $3,265 and increase the general fund balance by $3,265 to clear up liability to the Glens Falls Industrial Agency. 16 is a resolution to authorize the controller to increase general fund expense line A 11320-4487 auditor other expert professional services by $2,135 and increase the general fund revenue line account A 00999-4089 federal aid other ARPA by $2,135 to engage Marvin & Company to assist with the quarterly reporting of ARPA monies and to do other related research on ARPA-related expenses. 17, resolution to retroactively approve an encroachment permit initially approved by Mayor Collins on December 1st for the Glen Street Associates, owner's tax map 309.82-4-6, commonly known as 136 Glen Street in Glens Falls on December 2nd, 2022, to block off one parking space and to place a lift in front of the building to hang holiday decorations in accordance with the usual city stipulations. 18 is a resolution to approve the warrant. Do we have a motion for roll call vote?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Donovan?
Yes.
Councilman Landry?
Yes.
Councilwoman Herman?
Yes.
Councilman Lappel?
Yes.
Councilwoman Good?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Old business, Councilman Clark.
I just wanted to thank everyone for responding. The council will be having our annual holiday gathering at Morgan and Company on Tuesday at 6 o'clock for our fellowship and to celebrate the holiday season and into the new year. So thank you, everyone. Always a good time. So thank you.
Thank you. Old business, Councilman Donahue.
Nothing this time.
Old business, Councilman Lang.
I found it interesting today, Dave Blow's article in the newspaper about pickleball. And, when I got involved here and got on the recreation committee, I was wondering why we were going away from tennis and going to pickleball. And I guess that's the reason why we even, or I guess it was the last place in the area, the last town in the area that doesn't take its nets down to the very last minute. So I didn't like the fact that he alluded that this was a sport for the elderly, but Ed and I would be practicing in my garage and be mopping these people up in the spring.
That's right.
But it's good to see around.
Thank you. Old business councilman, I suppose I shouldn't call it old business, Councilwoman Palmer.
I have no old.
Councilman Lapham, old business.
I have no old business.
Councilwoman Gooden, old business?
No.
Great.
Can I just, from resolution 15, we had a typo in there, and it was just driving me a little
The
crazy.
mayor's is fixed. I called
Okay,
earlier
you got
on
it.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it today.
Chips was a little dyslexic, that's all that is.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. A new business, Councilman Clark.
Yeah, I just, I think a lot of us were in Crandall Park on a Sunday for Spirit of the Trees by Kiwanis. It was an incredible community event. There was a ton of people, and it was just with the snow and the trees lit up. It was magical, to be honest with you, and to see the kids running around and sliding on the hill. And I can only envision this event getting larger, and so I just want to commend the Kiwanis Club and everyone that participated in putting sponsoring a tree, and I encourage everyone to go over there and take a look and just walk around it, because I mean it's just really nice to see, and everyone had a lot of thought put into their trees. So we're very fortunate to live in a community that cares so much about its members, and it's just a wonderful event. So which I can only imagine will grow even more, and with Diana's Fire and Ice over there, it's just going to be a great time. So I appreciate everything that our civic organizations do for our community, and I just wanted to acknowledge that. So
I think that's up until New Year's Day, too.
right, yeah.
Great, thank you. Councilman Donahue, new business.
Yes, we have a new restaurant in the first floor at 23 Dick's, the Sweet Rice Thai Sushi. And my son went there, I haven't been there yet, and he said it's, good food and everything. So they're making their way, so, hopefully that there'll be customers, and I'm sure there will be. So we welcome as a new business in the city of Glens.
Thank you.
Yes, right, yeah.
Well, I'll make it my personal responsibility to go there and eat.
Yeah, that's it.
I would normally, but I will for this. Thank you. Councilman Landry, new business.
Thank you, Mayor. And to just kind of tag along with what Jim just said, that was a very nice thing that the Kiwanis Club did the other night. And there's just something about events that we do, especially this time of year. They're kind of magical in some way. And that's what that was for the night. If you weren't there, you missed a wonderful event. And I hope to be around long enough to see that entire field filled with trees.
Yeah.
Because I think that when the community sees what we did this year, what the Kiwanis Club did this year, to hopefully we'll continue on with that. So I applaud them as well. I want to thank the DPW for a good job in the last, which was our first snowstorm of the season, with another possible bigger storm coming this weekend. I'd like to reach out to our residents and remind them that they could help by getting sidewalks cleared as soon as possible after a storm. And please, I said this all last winter, and I continue to say it, if you got a fire hydrant in your neighborhood, make sure it gets shoveled out. Sure makes firefighting easier, more effective if the need be. It's wonderful to see the downtown lit up, people and cars on the street every day, businesses having a great season. It reminds you Christmas passed, and it's great to see that back. And lastly, I'd like to wish the citizens of the city of Glens Falls and my colleagues here on the council a happy, safe, and healthy holiday season. The healthy part may be difficult, but I wish it would mine as well.
new business, Councilwoman Palmer.
Yes, I didn't, I wasn't able to attend that event or the ladies' night shopping event because I was, had a cold. But I have talked to some of the local businesses since then, and they say it was one of the busiest nights they've had on record ever. So that's so great, and that people are coming out in our community and supporting our local businesses. I received a call over the weekend from a constituent who was really alarmed because she said she had almost been hit by a car while trying to cross Glens Street, where that crosswalk is to the Crandall Park.
Right over by Webster.
Yeah, it's Monument or
Okay, sure.
Monument. And so there's that one doesn't have a light, it's just the crosswalk. And then there's another one that has a light. And I've received other calls about this in the past, and I know that Chief Smith has, you know, tried to patrol the area. They can't just sit there all the time. I also know that our Webster Avenue project we're doing is going to address the traffic signal. But I think we just need to make sure that, I don't know if we should have so many crossing areas, like maybe we need to pick up like a couple, make sure that the signal and the crosswalk is clear and lit, and maybe paint over the other ones that don't work. But I have received lots of feedback, starting from families who have to cross that way to get to Kensington, who live on the other side, and then just people who walk their dogs to the park. So it's an area I just want to make sure that we focus on that. I know we're already addressing it in this project partially.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, definitely that particular with the light is a big piece of the project, but the other one isn't necessarily. So could you, can I ask you to please just follow up with an email with me, and then I'll make sure that's brought up in front of the Board of Public Safety. I have had experience when I was on the Board of Public Safety where there was a request to put, say, the one that sticks up the most in mind was if you go down Ridge and you come to Hunter, where I live, there's a potential for a crosswalk there. And they had a resident who was living on the corner asking for a crosswalk there. And the Board of Public Safety looked at it and said, no, we don't really want people crossing there. We don't think we should put one there. Well, anybody walking, we'd like them to do is, if they want to get to the other side, is to continue to go down to the next intersection, would be Sanford, where we have a light and where we have, during school days, a crossing guard. So we could certainly ask them to look at the Monument intersection, and we could ask Chief Smith, who would be at the same meeting, to at least keep an eye on that light in the meantime, right? That is moving forward. It's on the tip, and the engineering is almost done with that. I'm hearing is coming back. And that whole street, the redoing of it, but also the light's a big piece of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
I did mention it to Jeremy too at the Recreation Committee meeting, because I know he's working with them on that project.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one final thing, sorry to interrupt you, I really am, is that we have asked Aaron Frankenfeld from AGFTC to look at the two concerning streets formally now, and the redo of the school, crossing the whole school system. Circulation, thank you so much. So it's that, and the corner on Hudson and South that we talked about, and the corners down by 14 Hudson where there's several parking people there. So those are formally now asked for, and he believes that, he couldn't guarantee it, but he believes that those will be done in this calendar year.
Okay. And then this weekend, Temple Bethel is holding their Latke Fest, and I'm one of the chefs competing. So if anyone wants to stop by and try one of my latkes, which this is only my second time ever making them, but it's a really fun community.
Is there a prize?
They give a trophy.
The first time I entered, I got first place in the sauce, not the latke. I don't remember if I got a little trophy or not, but it's just a fun community event.
Yeah.
You know, and so many people come out. It's in the third ward, so it's fun to do.
What's up, Temple Bethel?
Temple Bethel.
At
Yeah.
what time?
I think it's 1 or 2. I'm sure they have the details on there.
Mr. Landry shared it on his Facebook page.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will do that
They
too.
used to give a frying pan.
But that's what it is, right, something like that. No, the trick to it is that.
Do you have to make the latkes with the frying pan after you wait?
No.
Okay.
It's really hard because you can't fry them to order, so that's the big trick, is how do you keep them crispy? Really, no one wants a soggy one.
Nobody likes
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I wish you well.
New business, Councilman Lapham.
Just with regard to the snow clearing, Kate Bruce had some pictures of snow downtown that wasn't getting cleared that she could share with the council. I believe the snow downtown is cleared out by DPW, is it not?
Depends on where it is, right, in general?
Yeah.
I mean, in general, the streets, sidewalks? So
It's
business
sidewalk.
owners are responsible for their own, public sidewalks.
So Kate has
Go ahead.
some pictures, so she can bring it up and tell you about it.
And there you go.
This seems to be around South Street. No.
It's downtown on the west side of Main Street. And most of the sun shines on the east side, so those sidewalks are all clear. On the opposite side of the street, downtown, they're not clear. And the reason I came tonight was because the woman who brought it to my attention and nearly fell said she was going to come and do her hip hip hooray thing for you.
That's awesome.
And ask it to be picked up. But I thought I would just take some photos because you have a lot of old folks, and you know, I like to really get dressed up, but I don't like to wear these clunky boots in the snow. And I'm sure other people don't, but we want to be safe and we want to enjoy downtown. You've got lots of great places to go, and it's not easy when the sidewalk is icy and slick.
So can I ask you to make a note, and we'll get that to building and codes. The property owners have 24 hours after a storm, I believe. Don't hold me to that, it's in the
I think
code.
that's right. I think it's 24 hours after it's finished. Yeah.
From when it ends. And then there is a list of any senior citizen or people with disabilities can reach out to the DPW and ask, and we try to help when we're done cleaning the public right-of-ways. There's anywhere from 1 to 2 dozen seniors that are on that list, and we do our best to help. But we have not, we're redoing the entire department, and that is going to be a major challenge as our new department head and his employees work to help people, notify them and encourage them, and then would enforce it by issuing citations. But thank you, and I'll be happy to help. It's great working with them. They're doing fantastic. I know that all of you know that because you've seen the emails, but there's still just so much, and that's going to be a challenge. Those have always been a challenge.
I know that you have the responsibility with your ordinances to take care of this. I have to say, as a citizen, it's the responsibility of the building owner to do it.
Yeah. And I think what's going to happen is he's going to find a list of owners that don't necessarily do what they need to, and he's going to struggle with the challenge of following up with them in a timely fashion so that people don't get hurt. If he thought that it was going to calm down a little bit because it wasn't the middle of the summer, it's probably it's going to be tough.
Well, he can't do that much when he's going to training. Too.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, any other new business, Councilwoman?
That's it.
Councilwoman Gooden, new business.
I just want to thank the DPW for exciting news. They actually had started the dog park down at Heaven's Cove before the snow. And that's exciting because it's been underway for a while and it's actually started. So we're really looking forward to that being finished up, in 23. But it is under the way and they actually have started. So, I was excited about that.
That's great. Do you know if they're fundraising right now for the dog park? Because I think that was one of the things about that.
Yeah, so Mr. Murphy is getting some numbers together. One of the things that he needed was to make sure he's got an accurate measurement, which obviously impacts the cost of fencing and things like that. So he's working on that. I'm sure once he gets that, he's got, obviously then we'll have a target number and there'll be a big push to raise the money. I don't think we'll have an issue with raising the money, to be honest with you.
You say we, you mean the community?
Yeah, excuse me, the people at large, not the city of Glens Falls, the people at large. But it will be exciting to have a place where people can communicate, dogs can communicate, people can communicate, and everyone can get together and have a nice social atmosphere. So.
And then we can put a sign at the Haviland's Cove saying this place is going to the dogs.
Very good.
Don't put your date down. Don't put your date down.
That's right.
So, anything else?
No, thank you.
Oh, great. So, just some things to note that you guys have talked about. So, Ben, the contract from Azavar, I saw that Karen has given Chip just today, I believe, the green light to go ahead with that. So your committee can go ahead and move forward with, or we can go ahead and submit it on behalf. So I wanted you to know that was done. Diana, you had mentioned the ARPA and the county. I did send those documents to the committee members too, so that should be approved, hoping that they see everything. We did start to look at See-Click Fix today, and so to move forward with that series of training, the goal would get everybody trained by the date is in February is the target date. Recognizing holidays are in that target date, but that's what we're working on. So I wanted you all to know that. Let's see. Wanted to, if you, we are starting to look at event changes. Some of you have gotten an email, and I tried to get today a follow-up email out to a business owner who's, what we're doing is trying to help everybody that's running events in the city of Glens Falls, whether they're run by the collaborative and the city together, whether they're run by a not-for-profit that's using city resources such as our parks or our streets, or even the awesome event that's on that was at Crandall Park this past weekend. The first step in looking at this is looking at the cost and the resources of time that the city's putting in, and just raising awareness about that. And then we'll work with each organization to help maybe share the burden or ask them to pick up some of it. So if an organization, a not-for-profit organization, is running a fundraiser and they're raising some money, we might be asking them to help at least pay for the $200 or $100 to use our park, because we're certainly paying to make sure that park's taken care of and stuff. And if they come back to us, we're not demanding anything right now, we're just looking at it. We're reviewing the entire cost and showing them what our costs are in time for our staff, and then at least the normal fees for those facilities. And if you get people who are going to be concerned and they reach out to you, I want you to know that's where we were at with it. We're in the exploration of just trying to raise the awareness of the joint costs that come with offering these events. Typically, we've waived the fees for almost all of them, and I just don't think that's a sustainable plan. But as we grow these events, maybe we can partner with some of them and find ways that we can raise some money for the city as well. And maybe that'll be the way it all happens. right? So just wanted you to know that that was happening, and the email that you saw was about that. It was just asking if you have these events and you collect this kind of money, this is what the city would normally be generating if we were offering that. And then, so you saw the response. Let's see, I will have to you very soon, hopefully before the end of the year, the updated list that you provided us. You and the DPW worked together to provide a list of sidewalks and streets that we thought we needed paved in 2022. We got through all of the streets, 22 streets in the city of Glens Falls. They gave a report, and it was like 64 tons of, I don't know if that means much. It was a pretty impressive number, but you know, I honestly don't know what that really means. But 22 streets, they all got paved within our funding and our budget. And so I'll have that information coming back to you, and you'll see the next streets that we've identified. We want to encourage you in January to look and assess it with yours. The same with the sidewalks, except the sidewalks, we did not get all of them done. I don't know if any of you remember it, but when we put it out to bid, there was one person, the low bidder, had mistakenly left out money and then came back to us after they were awarded the bid and said, oh, we forgot this. We had to put it right back out to bid because that's illegal. And so as a result, that held it up, and we didn't get through the paving. So we'll spend the spring finishing the 2022 plan. You'll see that in the stuff. And when we're going to add, I've asked Tom and our DPW staff to take anybody who's made a request throughout the year, that you'll see that too. Doesn't mean that they're all prioritized, but at least they'll all be there. And you'll see the ones that didn't get done, and that's some change. It's not everything. Councilman Lapham, and actually I've spoken to several of you, and this is not the end all or the be all. It's a better system than it was when we started a year ago, but it needs to be better. We definitely need to work on our GIS plan, hiring that GIS person, starting to record and get an assessment of all our streets and sidewalks so that we can rank them all and get our staff trained on properly identifying everything and our concerns. And so that's also what we're not going to stop doing one until we're ready to implement it all. Just wanted you to know it, and you'll have maybe, I'm thinking about 3 months, we made a cadence, and I'll share that with you. Like next 3 months, January, February, March, is when you'll tell us, hey, these new streets that didn't get on last year's list, I think they need it. And then we'll work on that together, okay? And that will go into the next year's bid. So just so you know, that's where we were. I also had an idea, Councilwoman Palmer, about playing It's a Wonderful Life nonstop. I've got a video and I've got a screen, and like during the Fire and Ice, maybe doing it in the band shell when I was there. I thought, wouldn't this be cool that anybody wanted to wander over? It's not too far from the pond. I think it'd be cool. Just leave it on a loop in the PA system and let people come up and sit and watch a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life. Anyway, it's just a crazy idea that I get. I thought I'd throw it out there. And I would be happy to help make it work. I've got the equipment to do it if we did, from another business that I own. Let's see. Encroachment permits. I want you all to know that we're working very, probably either between now and the first of the year or very shortly after the first of the year, you'll be getting all the new encroachment, the entire process of how encroachment permits. We've realized that many of our encroachment permits that we've given, there are a few different kinds, but the ones that we've given to outside dining were actually in violation of some public right-of-way access laws. So I'm about to share those new processes with you to get your input, and then when they're done, I'm going to call in those businesses, all those dining, and some of them are going to be upset with me because they may not be able to have as many chairs. I remember how this has become more and more important during COVID, that people were coming outside, and in doing that, we tried to accommodate people, but now we're concerned that we don't have good access on all of our sidewalks. So I wanted you all to be aware of it, because if there's concerns, they're going to come to you, and I wanted you to be aware, and I'll share that with you, and then I'm going to call them all in at least have a series of public meetings where I can explain it and try to help everybody and be as fair as we can in implementing this in 2023. The same for parking enforcement. We've been handing out for the last month and a half, Yellow, our parking enforcement officer, because Mary's committee has been working, the committee Councilwoman Gooden chairs in special projects, has been working on the taxi cabs. We haven't really addressed the overall parking issues in the city of Glens Falls. While you guys look at that in the beginnings of 2023, as long as it lasts, there's both overnight parking, there's downtown parking, there's parking permits that we have that are in different parking lots. It's a lot of work. It's going to take a while to look at all that and make recommendations for changes. So while that's happening, I thought it was a good time to have Tony go out and enforce the parking as we were doing pre-COVID, right? And we're just handing right now through the December 31st yellow warning tickets. He's doing a great job. I've gotten 2 of them myself, and so I know he's doing his job. He's handed out over 300 of them in the last month and a half, and it's exactly what we've had. I've had some people come in and complain about it, but it's only warnings until January 1st. There will be a press conference. We'll probably talk about this again on our December 27th. I wanted to raise your awareness about it. We are going to start to at least enforce the 2-hour parking limits that are on our streets and in our public parking areas. And we're going to update the map and everything. So we won't have made changes. We're just going to come back to pre-COVID days until you guys decide how the changes should be done. But wanted you all to know, and I figured it was good to give you a heads up and also to have it mentioned in public so that people can ask questions. Any questions? I just gave you a whole bunch. Sorry. I wanted to, before we'll turn this back over to public comment, but Merry Christmas, all of you, and have a great holiday. We'll see you at the party. Thank you all. It's been one heck of a year. It's been an honor for me. I'm sorry to keep talking about the end of the year. We do have another council meeting, but I hope you can all take some time to slow down during this holiday season. I know it's a goal of mine to get out of the office in a reasonable hour and try to say hello to my family. Let's see.
I'm sure they would appreciate that.
You know, my wife.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
My wife and I get along a lot better when I'm not around, so I'm not so sure we get the votes at the end of the holidays. Anyway, let's see. Do we have any public comment? Anybody from the public like to address the council? Okay. Not hearing any. Peter, do you see any online? Not seeing any. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.